Hey everyone, Amber here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys how to create this super cute shelf storage unit. I'm not sure what to call it. It's just basically like a little mini shelf that you can use to either send some Happy Mail goodies out to a pen pal or use in your craft area to store your go-to paper crafting supplies. This one I use the Gather collection by Maggie Holmes, and I'm going to be sending it out to a pen pal. If you would like to get a closer look at this shelf in particular, then you can head on over to my Instagram. I have a photo as well as a little video showing you what's all inside of these shelves. So I will leave my Instagram linked down below in case you want to see this more in depth. So I have it turned on its side currently just so you could see it in its entirety, because with the angle of my camera, if I have it turned up right, you don't really get to see that. So super cute project, super easy to make. It's pretty repetitive with all the steps, so super quick. You can do like an assembly line type of thing and get it together really fast. So I'm just going to dive into the tutorial. And as always, I will have all of the measurements listed down below in the description box so that you can follow along easier. And I'm just going to go ahead and set this one off to the side. So the first thing you are going to need are your side panels. So you will need 4 pieces of patterned scrapbook paper. So I just use this black and white striped one. I thought it was really cute. And then to make it a bit more sturdy, you have a couple of options. In between those 2 pieces of patterned paper, you can use chipboard if you want it to be extra sturdy. You can use some light cardboard, or you can just do what I did, which is use a piece of cardstock. This is just, I think, 65 pound weight, I want to say. And I just added that right in between the 2 pieces of patterned paper, and then I just sewed it together. You can just glue it, and I think that this makes it pretty sturdy on its own. It doesn't bend super easy. So the measurements for the 3 pieces you're going to need for each side panel are 8 inches by 3 1/4 inch. Again, I'll leave it listed down below in the description box. So you're going to basically just put your piece of cardstock in between your 2 pieces of patterned paper, glue it together, and then you're going to repeat that for the other panel so that you have 2 side panels. And then you're also going to need your 3 shelves. So I already have mine made here. I did all the prep beforehand to make this video extra quick. So here I have all of my little shelves. I am using the Chasing Dreams collection by Maggie Holmes for this one. And I am just going to quickly show you how to make one shelf because it is super easy. So when you're making these, you have a couple options. You can just use some double-sided paper and add your score lines, put it together, or you can just use cardstock, add your score lines, put it together, and then mat it in some pretty paper. Kind of depends on what paper pad you're using. This was a 6 by 6 inch, so I had to use cardstock for the base and then mat it. But if you're using 12 by 12, you can totally just do it all in one go. So I'm just going to set those aside, and then I'm going to show you how to make the shelf. And it's so easy. So you're going to need a piece of paper that measures 8 inches by 5 3/4 inches. And then you are just going to score at 1 1/4 inch on all 4 sides. And because I'm using my mini scoreboard for these long sides, I'll have to flip the paper over to complete them. But you just want to score at 1 1/4 inch on all 4 of your sides. I'm just meeting up those score lines, and then you should have something that looks like this. Hopefully you can see those score lines in there. I know it's kind of difficult when I'm using white paper and my table is white. But that is all the scoring you have to do for your little shelf. And now we are just going to fold up on all of the score lines. And the next step is to do some cutting. Again, super easy. So with your paper facing you, like so, you just want to cut along that score line. You'll have a square in each corner, and we just want to make it into a separate piece so that we can assemble this into this. So just have your paper facing you, and then you're just going to cut up on that score line until it meets the other one so that you'll have a separate little square. Then you're going to turn your paper and you're going to make another cut on that score line until it meets the other one, and now you will have another little square. Flip your paper again and just do the same exact thing. So super simple. And now when you lay your paper down, you can flip in all of your little tabs so that you'll have something that looks like this. And the next step is to just add our adhesive and glue it together. I like to use hot glue for this part just because it's super fast and I can be pretty impatient when I'm crafting. But for the sake of this video and because I can't plug in my hot glue gun because I have my lights up, I am just going to use some score tape. So I'm just going to add my adhesive to each little tab. So I cut off 4 little pieces of tape, and this is double-sided tape. And I'm just going to add it to the back of each tab. So this is the basic template for any size box. You just have to score the same on each side, cut the little squares, and then assemble it. So once you have this technique down, you could pretty much make any size that you want. So now that I have my adhesive down, I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing from one side. And then I'm going to just fold the whole side up, and you'll see that this tab right here will line up with this other side, and you just want to glue that together. And you want to make sure that you have a nice edge here, so line up the 2 pieces of paper nicely to get a nice sharp corner. And now you'll have something like this, and you want to just repeat that on all of the sides here. So I'm going to remove the backing from this piece, fold the side up, and just connect it. And just repeat that for the other 2 sides. And then for the last one here, doing the same thing. And now you have your little shelf all complete. So once you have it assembled, it measures 5.5 inches by 3.25 inch. So our shelf measures the same width as our side panels. So if you have any questions about assembling any of this, feel free to leave it down below in the comment section and I will get back to you. Or you can also DM me on Instagram, which is again linked down below, and I am more than happy to help you out if you need it. So once you have this done, whether you just used plain cardstock, you should mat it in some pretty paper, or if you just already used double-sided paper, then you're done. So now that you have your 3 shelves made, it's time to assemble it to our side panels. So in order to assemble this, I have added some adhesive to all of the edges of my shelves already. And you just want to decide in which order you want your shelves to go if you are using different pattern paper. So I want this blue one at the bottom. So I'm just going to remove the adhesive from one side, and I'm going to take one of my side panels, and you just want to line it up as nicely and evenly as you can against the two edges here, and the bottom edge needs to meet up with this bottom edge. So this is basically going to be flat against the surface when you have it assembled. So just take your time and get it nice and even. And then I like to use my scoring tool to kind of smooth it out and make sure that it is adhered. So now that you have that done, it's time to add our other two shelves. So I kind of, with the other one I made that I showed you guys at the start of the video, I just guesstimated and just kind of set these down and then glued it. If you want to get really precise, you're going to have about 1.5 inches of space in between each one. So you can take your ruler and set it down here, and then you can just measure it out like that. It's totally up to you if you want to guesstimate or not. I think guesstimating is faster, but you might not always get the perfect outcome. So I'm just going to line these up, and at the end you will have a little bit of overhang here. That just acts as like the top of the shelf, I guess. You know how like bookcases and stuff have that little top part. So that's just for that. So I'm just going to glue these other two into place. And I'm just going to wing it and guesstimate, and hopefully it turns out nicely. Alright, so now that I've got that one, it's time to do the final piece. And remember that we are just going to have just under 1 inch, I want to say, of overhang up here at the top. Alright, so now you should have something that looks like this. It's super wobbly, and that's just because, of course, we need to add our second side panel. So just keep your shelf laying flat, and just take your other side panel, and I like to just adhere it one at a time to keep it as even as possible. So I'm going to again start with the bottom, and then I'm just going to line that up and glue it down, and then move on to the second piece. So I'm sorry if it's hard to see. I know it's kind of awkward working with it at this angle. So I'm going to remove the backing of that tape, and then just keep it as straight as possible so that when you glue it down, it's not crooked. With my first one, the middle shelf was crooked because I was in kind of a hurry. Because you know when you are trying a new project and you just want to get it done, that's how I was. So it came out a little bit crooked. So now that I've done that one, I'm going to do the last one here. And if it does come out crooked, don't worry too much, because once you add all of your embellishing and all of the goodies and stuff in there, it will be pretty pretty hidden, I want to say. Alright guys, and once you have all of your pieces glued down, your shelf is complete. So you can just double check and make sure that it's all adhered nicely so that when you add all the goodies, it doesn't fall apart or anything. But that is pretty much the base of the project, and all that is left to do now is decorate, which is obviously the best part. So yeah, and then once you've done that, add your goodies or your paper crafting supplies and send it off to your pen pal, who will probably absolutely love it, or put it up in your craft space where you can see it all the time. I love putting up my own projects that I've made, especially like first time projects in my craft space, just for inspiration. So if I ever kind of have a crafter's block, I can just look at that and kind of get some inspiration from it. So now that I have the base complete, I am going to go ahead and decorate off camera, and then I will be back at the end of the video, so just a few seconds from now, to show you guys the final project. Obviously without any goodies added to it, just because I don't know what I'm going to be including in this project just now. So yeah, I'll be back in a second to show you guys the finished project. Alright guys, so here is the final project. I did go a little bit heavy on the chipboard pieces, but that's only because that's mostly what I have for the Chasing Dream collection. But I absolutely love how it turned out. I just love this collection. It's so pretty, and I'm just super pleased with the final project. Of course, I still have to add all of the little goodie boxes and bags to each shelf, and then I will be sending it out to a pen pal who will hopefully love it just as much as I do. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any questions or comments at all, please feel free to leave them down below in the comment section and I will get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more crafty videos like this. And as always, like I said before, the measurements and my Instagram will be linked down below, so you can follow along with the measurements, and head over to my Instagram to see more pictures of this project and other ones that I've created. That's my cat. So I'm going to end the video here. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you in my next one. Take care and happy crafting. Bye.